Dr. Sella here, and I just had a Canadian coach ask me this, and it's a question I get asked, I don't know, a lot over the last few decades. It's what defense basically shares the same mission as the triple option? Like, obviously, the triple option is designed to do more with less than any other offense around. We know this because it basically maximizes physical inferiority. So what defense does that? And I get asked this question a lot. So first of all, I'm going to preface this by saying in the 154-year history of football, nobody's ever won a game without scoring more points. So I don't spend a lot of time thinking about defense. I spend a lot of time making sure my clients know how to get their players aligned correctly and that they can get their players to know where to go. So I don't spend a lot of time thinking about defense, but let's take the mission of the offense first. The mission of the triple option offense is to cancel the defensive line. Now the submission of that is you cancel the defensive line by reading the defensive line, triple teaming the defensive tackle, and tossing the ball away from the defensive line. That's what you're trying to do. So, on defense, the job is to cancel the offensive line. You want to cancel the offensive line with the least amount of physical ability as possible. So, how do you do that? Number one, you play a bunch of skilled players on the defensive line and you slant them because that doesn't take a lot of physical. You don't have to drive people north, which is what you'd have to do in most defenses. So if you play a bunch of sub 200-pound kids on the defensive line and you slant them, that probably is the best way to go. I will say this. I do believe, and I learned this many years ago, that when you play a TNT front, where you play with a 0 and 2 3s, it takes a lot of pressure off the defensive line because they're aligned in such a way it's hard to get double teams on them, especially the 0. Because the 0 is a 2-gap player, gap and a half player, and it's hard to get a double on him without you sacrificing something major, a major issue in schematics. The 3 techniques, yeah, you can double them, but then eventually Greasy Neal, the old Eagles coach back in the late 40s, figured out if you set a 7 technique to the tight end side, it's real hard to double the 3 technique too. And that's why Buddy Ryan gets all the credit with the 46, because he set a 0, 2, 3 techniques, 7 techniques to the tight end side, and then 9 techniques. So you couldn't really physically overwhelm somebody. I mean, now you can just one-on-one it, and what generally beats a bear defense is when the strong side guard reaches a 3 technique and you run the ball off his block. But hey, if you got players that can do that, good for you. That doesn't take a lot of coaching. That takes a lot of good fortune and DNA, maybe recruiting. I mean, I'm good for you. So there's really 2 approaches. Number one, slant your front, because it doesn't take a lot of physical to cancel the offensive line when you slant your front. Number 2, TNT your front, or just play straight 46, because you can't really get physically overwhelmed because of the alignment of the front. It's hard to get people on the second level. It's a good way to go. So that's my answer. If you got a better answer, good for you. I'm in the offensive business. I'm here to get clients and to get them to maximize their offense and score more points and win more games and be the big dog at their school and get a better job if they want a better job. That's what I'm here to do. But I get asked that question all the time. I figured I better make a video on it. All right. That's it. Talk soon.